and the crowd is going to really lose their voice leading those charts. They're getting more and more intense every single time. I know we keep bringing it up, but like just when I think they've hit 11, like they find a 12.
And the Mystic now looking for their own level 12 in this particular matchup because RunAway showed us what their 11 can look like on Horizon. Our particular defense fairly impenetrable, and now Hisu back on that Bastion, Yaki now on the Pharah as well. And this is one of the classic compositions in this particular meta, right? It's the Bastion plus Pharah combo rather. And a lot of teams, they've certainly struggled on this part of the map.
Element Mystic have so far in the series looked frankly unflappable. More so on those first two maps, obviously, but I mean, I expect them to not be particularly rattled. This is just as comfortable a composition for them as it is for RunAway.
The opening Widowmaker shot always has to count, you know. You might just be able to get Yaki here, but
not quite.
Discipline is there. Just going to back off in time. Sparkle doesn't find anything. Goes onto the Pharah instead, and we have seen this matchup before. Pretty even, like Involder. Let's see if one of the two can swing it their way.
Doha already very quick to go set up a long flank. He's not going to be back in the team for a fair while, but when he does, it should take RunAway by surprise.
And this is not the kind of, you know, offensive Bastion play or the kind of, you know, May Reaper kind of rushing Hisu down. They just kind of find space for Doha or getting Mags an early start.
Funnily enough, because Doha went on that flank, even though he got spotted, it was by Yaki and Legday gone, and that drew their attention away from the rest of the fight. Sparkles pounced, and now Element Mystic collapsing on an outnumbered RunAway, looking for something in the mix here. Hisu down despite the amplification matrix, turns that into an unfortunate overinvestiture from Gangnam Jin, and now Element Mystic off to an absolutely cracking start.
And now you see where Doha is going. He goes a long way around the map, like you mentioned, but eventually he makes his way over to Hisu because that is the primary target. And you also have to, once more, commend Alpha for finding the kill into Mag to start things out with. Eventually, you get onto Hisu, you have Harmbin standing in front of him, kinetic grasp to stop all the damage coming through, and then you rush him down.
And that's a one and done. Really nicely played out by Element Mystic, knowing how to give Sparkle room to work with, knowing how to give Doha room to work with.
Let's see what kind of room Sparkle makes here as well. Nearly on that rocket barrage, leading Yaki by about 20-ish kind of percent here as we make our way over to point B.
Ooh. Sweaty palms, it's gonna be fine.
Unique sitting on that Valkyrie as well. Element Mystic just kind of uncontested on the card so far. Let's see where RunAway actually wants to make something happen. Well, that happened.
Gonna have to try and find a res there. Not quite sure exactly where he died, but Unique's under so much pressure. No res gonna come through. That was Valkyrie being used as well. Now Hisu drops straight back down while redeploying to have that firing line right down the street. Element Mystic have to back out fast.
That's going to be time lost off that clock. Doa's actually still on the Doomfist here, so expecting more flanks from him to be able to get on top of Hisu, who now actually has the tank mode available, so there is an opportunity for him to do a little bit more.
They find Hisu. That's what Doha was wanting to accomplish. He opens that door for his team, and they all come marching through.
5 ultimates were available for RunAway there. Really upsetting to see them lose Hisu so quickly like that, but you have to commend MCD getting that Biotic Orb in there, getting that last tick of damage. Now Sparkle did go down, gets resurrected back in. RunAway may have lost that fight, but they still have those same 5 ultimates. Nearly 6 now approaching this final part of B.
And you've got to believe that RunAway are going to have some kind of great defense here before too long. But if Element Mystic keep finding these pretty clever, opportunistic plays, I mean, Doa's already in position. One accretion hits him though, straight to the Meteor Strike. Who's going to go down on because Hisu could have been a target for a second there, but not quite, and ends up getting shot down as he lands. Rocket Barrage from Yaki as well. Nicely layered in on top of it. It is, once again, a big investment for RunAway, but that's what the point of having ultimates is.
And this time around, uses that tank mode. As soon as you see Doha come into your face, the Meteor Strike comes through. It is safe for Doha to play there because he has the ultimate, but he also knows if I'm still in Sentry mode, he's going to drop down on me, so he has to go into tank form, has to try and get into another position. As soon as Doha goes for the play, instantly taken down by Hisu, and now RunAway control all of the space. Element Mystic have to reset up this entire offense and put Doha on the angle once more.
Now they've just got to reset up. Element Mystic have been slowed down here. That's important for RunAway. They do need to do a lot more of that though, because so far Element Mystic have honestly made such good time through Dorado.
The damage doesn't stop here either. Let's see if Doha can do some of it, and he certainly does.
Knocks Hisu into the rest of the team as well. EJ gone dead just after committing the res, and I mean, every time, right? Every time Doha
And
is
the
fighting
cap.
these flanks. There was the one time that it got dealt with, but every other time it's resulted in a fight win.
And that's the problem, because Element Mystic will try and get your attention. You forget Doa's on the map, and suddenly he appears, and suddenly Gangnam Jim gets out. You lose one of your supports, and Hisu gets punched into the rest of EM, and it's all over. You need to be able to protect your Bastion kit. You need to be able to read the movements of the Doomfist.
That's why they call it protect the president sometimes. It's more when it's on the payload, but you know what I mean. And now Doha finds one of those Secret Service agents. Nice trade backs though as Element Mystic dogpile into an unsafe space in that corridor where Hisu was set up, and now the team sent packing. Element Mystic gonna have to try again.
And overall, that wall coming up from Yagi, despite it not saving his teammate, was able to allow the rest of the team to handle the offense from the front side. And that's what Element Mystic couldn't quite deal with, because they're still running into Hisu's firing relay. Doa's waiting for the wall to dissipate before he can rejoin the fight, but when he does, it's suddenly too late. Element Mystic now once more reset.
And with the positioning of the Bastion this time, by the way, it's going to be hard for Doha to find a long flank. He's looking to come around backside behind, but Gangnam Jin should be able to spot the
Pulls good.
Nearly found it, but Doha's still going to look to go in. There we go. This time they've got tabs on him, and they're going to be able to finish him off. Nice pilot grenade just to catch that last bit of damage on him. Traded out with QOQ, and Element Mystic could actually decide to go for this. Hisu is still going to be priority number one. If they can take him out, they can win the fight with Legday gone dead. It should be easier to kill Hisu, but he's still not down. Has to keep repositioning backwards, though.
Even if they kill Hisu, they still need their own team members to make something happen. They're just losing so many now. Hanbin is asleep, Unique is dead, and Gangnam Jim is going to be the only prize taken away.
Yes, Sparkle wanted to take an express trip back to spawn, and Element Mystic, just when they were starting to pull ahead, they go, all right, now it's time to deal with Hisu, but they didn't really approach it intelligently.
And they're still in a position where Element Mystic just looking for approaches. Doa's now giving up on the Doomfist, and honestly, there were moments there where Doa could have done a lot more, because they were set up, the Bastion that is in the central pillar of the map. So many ways for Doa to get flanks in. And now, we're back into this same position that Doa was using, or Hisu rather was using earlier, and Doa's going to find a different approach with the Reaper instead.
Feels like it's a case of the buck stops here with Doha. They didn't want to let the...
Is that what it looks like? The buck stops here?
Exactly. It is still stopped. The buck has not restarted. Because the thing is, they were starting to figure out Doha's flanks on the Doomfist, and now they seem to have good tabs on him on the Reaper as well. Again, Element Mystic kind of stuck here trying to figure out how to take a fight. They trade Yagi, but MCD goes down, and it's already just not a great start for Element Mystic. RunAway have more ultimates, but RunAway are going to need to commit those ultimates. The card's now moving, and QOQ just died.
That's actually interesting for EM, because they're still able to have impact on this fight despite losing so many members, and they also lost the Coalescence. MCD died instantly when he used that ultimate. And now actually, where's that Blizzard? It's being committed by Yaki.
Thank goodness too, Yaki coming out with the respawn, because actually otherwise they were going to get more distance on the payload still, and the reason they were allowed to stay in the fight is because of the firing line of the Bastion, but now that the respawners have come back in, RunAway just have the wrap around. They can attack Element Mystic from all sides and have no trouble taking them all down.
Speaking of all sides there, Hisu was just turning around time and time again. Maga, she got like 3 or 4 kills there.
Checking out the architecture, the interior design.
Which looks pretty nice, all things considered. What doesn't look quite as good as 35 seconds remaining for Element Mystic. Having said that though, they pushed the cart quite some way, so even though they were losing fights, they grinded the objective, and now if they can utilize objective pressure, I mean, RunAway are going to have to contest, and that could be an opening to pull members off the high ground.
That being said, less than 20 seconds now to do it. So it's really going to be all in on this one, Element Mystic. Either they can execute it well, or something goes wrong and RunAway get the better of it, which is what's happened in the last few fights.
That first halt was so important to see if they can maybe pull someone from their high ground. This is it now. 3 seconds remaining.
They're going to make sure they also contest the card himself, though. They are going to be able to get some bodies on it, but Hanbin, speaking of bodies, going to hit the floor. Good Blizzard, can they get Hisu though? Yes, they can. And despite the loss of Hanbin, they've found the angle in to dislodge the Bastion. And like you said, that point pressure now pays off for Element Mystic. They only need to march it these last few meters.
And Hisu, he needs to go into Tracer or something. I don't know if the tank's going to get there in time.
And it's done for Element Mystic. Again, it is overtime, but I would like to draw your attention back to maps prior. Element Mystic, they have good defense. I dare say they can stop up RunAway somewhere on Dorado.
That has to be the plan, right? Because otherwise, I don't know, score lines are going to keep changing here. I'm still expecting a lot of maps in this particular series. Realistically, this should not be too one-sided. RunAway have already gotten one on their board. Looking for at least 2.
That being said, if Element Mystic go to 3, by the way, this is that play at the end, the Blizzard coming down very nicely. Hanbin kind of had to be a sacrificial lamb to allow them to make this approach. But if Element Mystic go up to 3 maps, that'll be more maps than they've actually got off RunAway in a series than in the last 2 times they've met.
Except for the one time they did beat RunAway 3-2, so they did get 3 maps
Way
on
back
that one.
in the Jurassic period.
Yeah, Season 1, I mean, it feels like a while ago. Official map record for the year stands at 10-9 so far in favor of RunAway. Of course, EM even that went out to 9-9 after winning Eichenwalde, and if they want to make it 10-10, EM do have to take out Dorado here.
What a close one. No matter how you slice it, right? There is a world where actually Element Mystic could walk away with a win and they'd still be tied in that overall map record. And if there's that rematch in the grand finals, if that's the path that the loser takes, then I mean, that map record could still end off incredibly close by the end of the Gauntlet.
And I want to refer to something as well. You talked about the past maps that we've seen in Horizon Lunar Colony. As mentioned, has to be the one you look at because there is still a world where, I mean, like you mentioned, it just doesn't even matter how far we get into C because this could all end very quickly on A and B. Hisu now going back on that Bastion. It's a Bastion offense, and this can be tricky. If you do lose this push, you lose the momentum, you are forced to swap off the Bastion.
I feel like Doha may well just have a field day. He's already had so many great plays getting the run around on Hisu. If he can just get one, then like you said, suddenly the Bastion becomes a non-option. So Element Mystic kind of hold a lot of cards right now.
You do need to let the attacking team push somewhat because this is what's going to give the opening now. Doha did get spotted, instantly going to run away. Doesn't quite have the opening just yet.
Sparkle fancies a try, but Doha down, and the other side of that means they can't just juggle the damage between the two of them. Now Sparkle down as well. Hisu does get picked off. He is resable, and the res will come in. Will also come in onto Sparkle, although Element Mystic aren't going to give it up that easily. Ultimate starting to get committed now as Hanbin gets drilled down with the help of the amplification matrix. He will find Sparkle as well. Now unique, not like there was a res available anyway, but it's still one less member on the team and of course less healing available as the cart continues. The Bastion stands proud.
A super clutch from Legday going as well, making sure the res comes through, keeping Hisu on that cart because that could have been that nightmare scenario where you lose your Bastion, you can't really contest anymore, and suddenly you lose the cart push as well and you don't take edge. And now 5-10 on the board. As we head into B, things are looking great for RunAway at completing the map.
And it's interesting that Element Mystic don't just want to mirror match the composition here. They want to move over to a Mei instead. They still recognize the condition of, hey, dislodge the Bastion and the rest can fall into place.
We'll see how they handle Yaki because now he's kind of having free reign in the skies, doesn't have to deal with pesky Sparkle anymore. Doa's already looking for that flanking angle again. They need to dogpile Hisu. That's the game plan.
DJ gone broad a little bit low there, but he is going to be just fine. As now Doha's found his angle, immediately has to pop into the ring form though. Pushing in the damage. They've got rid of the immortality field. They've got Hisu as well. Yaki does get one and a structure, but the numbers favor Element Mystic. And RunAway are losing far more than they're gaining here. They will be pushed off the cart, and that should be the last we see of the Bastion strat here for RunAway.
Yaki's the last surviving damage-dealing member here as well. Just can't quite do enough to turn things around. With Hisu down, it's all up to Yaki to get the rest of the kills. Pop that rocket barrage, only got 2, and RunAway losing everybody else, including QOQ, was frozen pretty much the entire time. Couldn't quite do enough. Hisu's actually going to stay for now because there is still enough spacing to get back on the cart.
Just barely, right? It is a high percentage play though here for RunAway, because they could still struggle to make the setup happen. Nice size small should give them an approach, but they don't quite capitalize on that. Now they're actually a little bit split as Element Mystic looks to capitalize. Nice amplification matrix though. Unique's the first casualty as Hisu has just enough of an angle. Hanbin still waiting for that punch, cancelled! Enormous there! But Sparkle finds Hisu, and with that Blizzard running, the rest of RunAway are sitting ducks. Flashy play to take out Hanbin, but really the damage is done in favor of Element Mystic. The Bastion will still not get back on the cards.
And we'll need confirmation to decide whether it was indeed cancelled, but regardless, they did win the fight anyway. I mean, Element Mystic, we were waiting for when the fluxes were going to come through. You saw that first amp matrix for RunAway. Okay, Element Mystic, give them a little bit of space. Just walk away. Do not fight into the amp matrix itself. Wait until it runs out, and then we have the full-on brawl. Speaking of which, Hisu now on the Reaper, Yaki on the Doofus. It's all about the brawl.
So much patience on this defense, but with the freeze on QOQ and the coalescence as well, there's no good way for RunAway to get into this fight. Element Mystic are happy to take a few fights where they just lean into some ultimates, charge up a few more. It's RunAway who are in a rebuilding phase.
RunAway do have the initial better composition in terms of the one-to-one matchups here. Sparkle, after using the Blizzard, after maybe getting himself killed here, will probably look to change to his own Doomfist eventually. But at this moment in time, RunAway kind of just stuck at the doors. It's 2:25 remaining, and the card has barely moved into B.
This is why we said we see the world where Element Mystic make a full defense happen. Like we said before as well, they're just rotating through the ultimates. This time the Supercharger allows them to find QOQ at the top of the fight. Blizzard tossed in, and much that is due to Sparkle probably wanting to swap, but they don't actually find anyone with it. Now they need to be careful to not overcommit. RunAway trying to be opportunistic, see if they can set something up in return.
Slightly greedy there from Sparkle. We did note that's what he's looking to do in this particular play, but you also really want to be winning a fight off that one. RunAway just disengage away completely, and now what's what happens?
Zoha's looking to drop in from above, but he might not need to use the Death Blossom there. They've already found the kills just with the straight damage, and they've kind of recovered a bit there. Sparkle wasn't able to swap previously because they didn't have a good fight win. Now he might have a window, but I mean, he also just got 3 kills. So.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because so far they've been winning all these fights, so a part of you is thinking, do we even need to see the Sparkle swap at this moment? He's back to 50% towards the Blizzard. Though is back on a flank with the Death Blossom. You can see a world with Element Mystic just continue holding here with this specific comp.
RunAway is still waiting for ultimates as well. When they get them online, they're going to have a heck of a lot of them, don't get me wrong, but I mean, how long is that going to take them?
Does get spotted here, so some difficulty now. Ooh, accretion as well lands.
Down to the ground, he's going to be able to pull back to his team and recover that health pool. As RunAway, they have those ultimates, they want to start committing them. Alpha's down already. Zoha looking to get back in behind, needs to find an angle for the Death Blossom, will not. Hisu's got his number, and with that, Element Mystic are going to be forced back off this card. RunAway get back in control, back in possession of the payload.
And just seeing how QOQ in particular just had the opening damage onto Doha, the rest of RunAway, we know exactly where you are. Stopping that flank from coming through, so utterly important to actually win this fight. And then when Doha goes for the teleport play again, once more spotted out by RunAway, unable to get anything down and instantly taken down himself.
Now we look back to Sparkle on the May. Of course he wouldn't swap here because he had the Blizzard available. Yaki maybe wanted to go for something, but actually maybe not. So now Element Mystic, this is one fight territory.
Goes Coalescence into the sound barrier as well, responded by Legday Gone, Fluxes in play.
Double sound barriers apiece. Blizzard has come out. Can they get anything done with Doha? Yes, they can! They pick up Legday Gone and Hisu. Only one counter trade in the likes of Sparkle.
5
seconds.
As
the clock ticks down, RunAway cannot muster the manpower. Element Mystic, they will indeed complete that hold. Such a good defense and the best map record they've had so far. They now take RunAway to match point.
And can you believe that Element Mystic are still this far ahead of RunAway in the series? We looked at RunAway coming into this entire tournament, coming into this winner bracket final as the dominant team, as the force to be reckoned with. The EM are just taking it up towards them now, and they could take the whole series.
Are we about to see a legend fall? Granted, it is only into the lower bracket, and look, it's not the first time RunAway will have found themselves taking the L. But it's still just such a dramatic change of fortunes from how incredible RunAway looked just yesterday. And they still look good today, but Element Mystic right now genuinely look that bit better.
And it's even the changing of the wind in terms of how they deal the Bastion strategy from one map to another. Element Mystic look like they've upgraded.
And speaking of one map to another, we are at 3-1 match point, and we do still have at least one other map. That one comes up after this break. Definitely stick around. Match point, AVRL. Match point is all I can think right now. And look, I still believe RunAway can do it. It wouldn't quite be a full reverse sweep, but it would feel pretty close to with how good Element Mystic's wins have been when they have come.
The fact that you said match point is very intriguing, because if you'd only said those words and not the team, most fans would probably have expected RunAway to be the ones at match point right now, not Element Mystic. But it's opposite land, upside down world here, where Element Mystic are indeed the ones way into the lead. And some of the maps they've had victories on have looked incredibly comfortable for them. RunAway though, can't say the same.
And I don't know, look, maybe the comeback still comes from RunAway. It just doesn't come in the course of this series, right? Because the loser of this isn't eliminated. They just drop down to the lower bracket. They still have a chance to make it back to the grand final. The winner goes straight to the grand final. So if RunAway even lose this, they could still come back with a vengeance, but you'd like to see them come back with a vengeance here and now in this series, where they have picked our next map. We're going to Achilios.
Let's take a look at history as well. This was the first map played in the series of the Contenders Season 2 Korea Grand Finals. RunAway won this one 2-1 against Element Mystic and really set off their road to becoming season champions. But as it stands, Element Mystic being at match point, looking for that revenge, they might just get it.
And look, Element Mystic themselves, they're pretty sure they are better than what they were in those playoffs in the Contenders. So I would say the proof is in the pudding, but I feel like they've already proved it in some capacity. If they will confirm that, if they will complete it and have the hard work pay off, is what remains to be seen here on Achilios, and I just can't wait to get into the map.
Battle lines drawn now on Ruins, our first round of the 5th map in the series so far. Winners bracket finals here. The winner of this entire series will go on to the grand finals. The losers will go down to the losers bracket now. The RunAway, the pressure has to be on. You got to feel that they know what's at stake. You got to feel for Element Mystic as well. They know that the path is clear.
And look, RunAway, this is not the first time they've been in these kinds of positions as an organization. Yaki, I don't think this is really going to be a Genji, but a man can dream.
Let me mention something as well. When we talked to Element Mystic, they said their loss to RunAway in the regular season at Grand Finals was because they hadn't figured out the metagame. They weren't ready to be able to defeat a team like RunAway. But you can see now that they have been some of the biggest innovators of this tournament. You better believe that Element Mystic are more than ready.
Back onto the old Hack Fist, the Sombra on Doha. This has been their kind of control special, but RunAway feel they have their answer in the form of Hisu on Widowmaker.
We'll see how well that works out for them, because yeah, you can get that ultimate, the Infrasight, to spot him out every now and then, and mostly, well, if Sparkle's actually going to be playing the Pharah, the Hisu's pick makes sense here. But I can't help but imagine Sparkle landing on Hisu's face and squishing him into a wall.
It just feels like there's also very limited targets for Hisu. You've got one who's stealth, you've got two that are going to be behind shields, and then I guess you're looking for Sparkle in some capacity. Look, you can still deal damage without headshots, don't get me wrong. Mag's down early, though. Element Mystic finding that they are far more consistently proficient at dealing damage. Yaki grounded by Doha's hack, and by the way, even though the numbers are even and the fight still rages on, the point was capped by Element Mystic. Nice headshot out of Hisu, though. This could be a beginning of a turnaround, but not if Element Mystic have anything else to say about it.
And I think it says a lot when Element Mystic spent most of the game ignoring Hisu until he actually killed Sparkle. Up until that point, Hisu was kind of invisible. Yeah, he hit a couple of headshots that did not result into kills, but as soon as Hisu was on the map and Element Mystic saw it, they took him down very quickly. Infrasight being used now. Doa's just got to chill for a little bit.
Yeah, oh, okay. Actually, Hisu's got a completely different plan.
And you know what? No chill from Doa's side. He's going to get right back into action, Sparkle included. EM still hold on to this point, 42% and counting.
I feel like you're a brave man if you try to go toe-to-toe with Sparkle here, but Yaki finds out, sorry, go toe-to-toe with Doha, but you can also go toe-to-toe with Sparkle if you're Yaki, and now they also get a sleep and kill on Doha, MCD as well.
and it's like RunAway just flicked the switch. They go, all right, we win now. Let's go in and actually take this fight seriously, and suddenly no one on Element Mystic gets out alive.
It's a big catch-up in terms of ultimates gained as well. Look at the RunAway side of things. Hisu just swapped with Sombra, already at 45%. Doa sitting at 65%. There's only 20% difference, and Doa's been on the entire map for the entire game so far. EM now, so looking for a couple of important ultimates as they look to repush now, 60% advantage.
RunAway have so many ultimates. That's the threat of going up against Doha, is usually he's so fast to charge his EMP, and he's still not even 3/4 of the way there, only just rounding out Ben now.
Giga on popping that Valkyrie super early. The QQ will be the first target. Did get hacked out.
Reservoir, thanks to Legday, gone. Let's see what Sparkle can do with this Meteor Strike, because Yaki's found Alpha already. It will only be one, and it's now traded back with Gangnam Jin. Element Mystic still in this, but maybe not for long. Hack onto Yaki, but that means nothing if they can't finish him off. Sparkle will find it. Jesus had trades in the mix as well, and he's going to get the first EMP off the back of that. They find Sparkle, they find Doha. Hisu outclassing his counterpart.
Hisu only narrowly got the EMP ready before Doha. Eventually, when they both had them available, Hisu pulls the trigger finger first. Both teams had very low numbers, but the EMP did make the difference. And speaking of the difference, Doha has it in his pocket now. Element Mystic, despite losing, have still got a lot of ultimates available. They've been saving, they've been banking, and RunAway may only get a slight lead before Element Mystic flip it back around.
Certainly feel like that's got to be the case here. EMP out only actually fires the 2 tanks, but they will get a kill on one of said 2, who unfortunately gets phrased. Element Mystic are going to have to do better than that, it seems.
And that's the problem with all letting one member now. Let's see if Element Mystic can do more, because they still got more to play with.
They did get onto the point though, which was critical, because RunAway did have to give space during the EMP. The other ultimates were also committed by Element Mystic. They sort of got some mileage, but it was quite a lot committed. Graphitic Flux, Supercharger, Sound Barrier, but they've regained control. That's what counts.
Soul Lesson's still going to be very important, specifically against someone like Yaki, who EM need to keep their eyes on. Rocket Barrage is available and can end this fight very quickly if he's unchecked. Looking at Sparkle's ult, Meteor Strike ready, he needs to be able to get a very quick kill on something.
90% now for Element Mystic. Firmly into one fight territory for them. Hisu pressured out despite the hack he got onto Sparkle. Yaki's fishing for this one.
Looking to swoop in, but who can he get? Doa's already got mag. Time's running out here.
It is traded. That's critical. Element Mystic are not necessarily any better off. In fact, now they are worse off because of the res onto mag, and Yaki still holding on to this.
That's big.
Hisu finished off. Yaki's got a lot to do. Goes at it from a distance, but he doesn't find anything. QOQ dead on the ground. Suddenly Yaki comes alive. He's found MCD as well. Had been slow. Mag will finish him off. That resurrection paying off big time, and RunAway will just barely clinch the point back.
And that, Pixie, is the kind of clutch player we've been waiting for from a team like RunAway. Hisu goes down at 91% towards the EMP. Yaki's got to be the one to pull it back together here. Finds the kills, avoids Sparkle, and completely turns things around. Now it's going to be double 99.
Element Mystic, man. Now we're continuing to play compositional chess. They go, hold on, we need a Diva. We need to deal with the Sparrow somehow. But there's still an EMP from Hisu. Comes out across 3. Sparkle already dead. Doha asleep. MZD down. Yaki is logged in. Element Mystic getting picked off piece by piece. 99-99, but this time looking to fall the way of RunAway.
RunAway, Yaki has entered the game. Element Mystic has exited at least the first round. That's going to be with a clutch 100-99. They're happy with that result. And unfortunately for Element Mystic, towards the end there, had nothing against Yaki, who controlled the entire game.
This is RunAway keeping their hopes alive right now for staying in that upper bracket, getting the golden ticket to the grand finals. Getting the first round of this control map is so critical. There's just a cushion there now.
And as a reminder, 2-1 was the scoreline. The Contender Season 2 grand finals between these same 2 teams. Looking at Yaki here, collecting 2 kills, converting it onto more towards the end. And RunAway can keep this train moving. I mean, they're running Yaki back on the fire now. It's working. Why swap? Element Mystic though, Sparkle might be looking to change onto something like his own Farah. There it is.
Hisu's kind of got the right idea here though. This time you expect this to get a lot more mileage.
It should, but Doa should also be playing Hunter Killer. If he knows Hisu is on a Widowmaker, that's a free kill, my friend.
I do also like the fact that having the fire out. Oh man!
Speaking of free kills?
Yep, no, Doha not going to find that one.
Unreal aim from the youngster. Now Sparkle's in a lot of trouble because there are 2 members that are going to be pressuring him out. Speaking of pressured out, EM are still on this point at least early.
I was going to say I like that the Barrel forced a Mercy because then you got Resurrections, but how was that a Venom mine? He just lobbed that up in the air. That's unbelievable. Alpha just kind of off the edge. Mag pulls one down as well, and that's all she wrote for the opening scrap here. RunAway will start with control of the point.
And what you respect here is that EM still stalled out the point and prevented the early cap coming through despite losing members. Even traded somebody up with Sisu. It's got a lot more value than he expected Widowmaker to be able to get on a map like Achilios this early on. Now, though, it becomes the real question. What kind of value does Hisu get against a Reaper and a Doomfist?
That was such a sick shot there from Hisu. Element Mystic, they've already lost Hanbin on the approach here, the Biotic Grenade, and then the damage from the rockets of Yaki just too much, and so unfortunate because they had committed a Coalescence, but aren't actually in a position where they can just kind of double down on it and try and see if something sticks.
And I want to see Element Mystic really deal with one of the key targets here, really find this opening to get those picks through. Currently just kind of stuck in spawn, taking a lot of damage. Yaki just piling on those rockets, has now that barrage available for the next EM rotation.
Looking to make a move eventually, but it's just not going to get any easier for Element Mystic.
And it's taking a long time as well. Kyoki eventually used the flux. Don't know if this is going to go too much.
Doha down already, man. This is just not a hot start, and Element Mystic starting to look more and more lost. They don't have ultimates. They don't even have an angle onto the point.
Speaking of angles, Gangnam Jin somehow got the sleep down onto Doha. That was converted by Hisu as well. And then honestly, after that, you see Sparkle trying to get a trade onto QOQ. Not going to happen. RunAway still in the lead. Element Mystic haven't even really taken fights. These are small skirmishes, and they crease it very easily.
You'd hope by now they're taking a fight where they could get some ultimates off the board. Instead, they haven't. RunAway are happy to commit their ultimates. They know that this pushes Element Mystic right up against the ropes, and Yaki got that done so quick. There's just not that much time left for EM.
Seems like they haven't shown up to play on this particular round here. I did say after Ruins, Element Mystic has exited the game, and it feels like they haven't re-entered. 95% now. EM just have to go.
Still just waiting for server. Hanbin gets onto the point. Looking to try and make overtime happen. They do, but he's immediately down. Double powder grenade as well means Alpha as well, and Element Mystic. Not even a counter trade, not even anything close. Absolutely disgusting from Hisu.
Tag him and bag him, boys. To get him in there, that's going to be the map now.
And it's continuing, man. RunAway, you never count them out. They refuse to die that easily. It doesn't mean they're done for, but having turned around on control, winning the game mode that they actually lost at the start of the series is just that little bit more significant even than getting Horizon Lunar Colony in the middle. Now these teams are starting to feel more and more even. Indeed, RunAway, they feel like they're starting to pull ahead, even if the scoreline doesn't reflect it.
Speaking of scorelines, I have to keep referring back to the overall score for the year, because every time EM try to lock this one up and get that advantage, get ahead a little bit, it's RunAway that takes it one step further. It was 10-10 for the entire year. Now it is 11-10 for overall maps won from RunAway versus Element Mystics. Only 10 wins, and it just seems like EM cannot catch up.
And like I said, there is a world where EM actually win this series, only drawn on overall map record with RunAway. Worse still, they can actually win this having a lower overall map record.
Yeah,
that
possible.
is if we go all the way to 3-3 and then Element Mystic clutch it out. But at that point, I don't even know if Element Mystic could do it. I don't even know if they can do it now. We will see if they can when we come back from this break. Welcome back. We are so close to seeing that turnaround really come on through here for RunAway. They have been at match point now, but they turned things around on Achilios. Indeed, they look leaps and bounds ahead of Element Mystic, but match point is still match point. Element Mystic only need to get one through the goalpost to take this one home.
And what you see is RunAway, when they're winning these maps, let's talk about Horizon, let's talk about the Achilios that we just saw. It looks fairly dominant here. It looks like the Element Mystic squad on the other end don't quite know how to answer the strategy. First, it was the Bastion. This time around, it was the Pharah. When we look at Dorado in the middle, seems like Element Mystic did figure out the Bastion eventually. So now, moving to the next map, can they also figure out that Pharah?
And that's what we're all kind of waiting to see. Once again, Element Mystic will be picking the map. They're going to take us over to King's Row. So now for the second time we see Hybrid. This time the difference is it's Element Mystic's pick over RunAway. So we kind of see the difference in preference there as well. And I want to see Element Mystic the last Hybrid as well, even though it was RunAway's pick.
And it is incredibly fitting that this is map number 6, because if you go back to Contenders Korea Season 2 Grand Finals, the rematch here, the same two teams, map number 6 was King's Row. And that was the map that secured the entire tournament, secured the championship for RunAway back then. 5-3 was the score in favor of RunAway, and now this could be the map that brings RunAway into brings them into the match point scenario themselves, or it'll be the map that instead goes the way of Element Mystic and gives them that victory 4-2.
So it is a kind of confidence pick here for Element Mystic. They go, no, things have changed. They said they felt they hadn't figured the meta out yet at that time of the Korean Contenders Season 2 Finals, and I dare say I agree with them. They look a lot better right now, but is better still enough to beat RunAway? Even at match point, I don't know if I believe it. Let's find out.
It's heating up here now, Pixie, because we all know how tight and tense this battle has gotten so far. And it had to be these two teams. It had to be RunAway versus Element Mystic. When we spoke to RunAway earlier, they mentioned who was the team they considered to be their rivals, not just in this tournament, in Korea as well. And they said it was Element Mystic. This was the team that they wanted to beat again. And for Element Mystic, it's all about the revenge. It's all about getting the rematch. A rematch has been delivered. They're still in the lead, but they haven't won yet.
And I think their history really speaks to that, right? As much as in the longer context of Korea, RunAway is, you know, such a notable squad, a notable organization. This year actually more or less has been the year of Element Mystic. Even though they didn't win Season 2, they're looking good, indeed better from match to match, and now still at match point, looking to just roll out back on the Doomfist Reaper.
Run it back here, and Yaki's going to run it forward, straight into Doha. Where's the response from Sparkle?
None as of yet. In fact, Element Mystic find themselves in full retreat. RunAway are okay with that. They'll let them have it. Better time lost for now.
Element Mystic, though, all respawners back into the mix, still fighting around an initial choke point. Got to get themselves around the statue if they want to move forward. Gangnam-jin down to half health.
This is where we are looking to see Sparkle really shot. We haven't actually seen much of him on the Doomfist in the last few maps. Bit of a refreshing one, but Doha's found a flank. Doesn't quite get the drop on them. Coalescence raking across. RunAway now, Mag out of the count. Kisu as well. Yaki will trade just the one back, but the double coalesces there. Gamnang Jims comes in later. Sparkle low, but not quite finished off. And as long as he remains in the fight, the kill pressure is there! They find Yaki out as well as Sparkle, just keeping the pressure on the rest of these members so that Element Mystic can mop up the point.
And the problem is, RunAway is still kind of in this. You see them in the archway there. You see them still trying to make the contest forward. 2 ticks will be given away, but I think RunAway will come back for the last.
It's got to be now, if ever. Legday gone as well, trying to come in for the stall, bumps away, nicely read there by Unique, who also has a sound barrier. Flux is coming out now from Han Ben. Sound barrier's in, slam dunk down onto QOQ. Alpha low, but never quite finished off as Sparkle has come alive now. And unless Yaki finds some masterclass Meteor Strike, I don't think they're turning this one back around. Element Mystic will complete that cap.
Finds himself masterclass smacked into a wall there. Element Mystic just barely getting ultimates up slightly faster there. First was Coalescence, MCD first. Gangnam-jin was still at 90% by the time MCD had already gotten his. Then you also saw Hanbin uses the Flux. QOQ dies when his Flux is available to Sparkle. So Element Mystic just had the upper hand in the smallest of margins.
Now let's see if they can maintain the upper hand. We talk so much about momentum on the Streets phases of these hybrid maps. Doha again looking for the angle, looking to get right on top of QOQ and Mag. Damage coming in, but no one dead just yet. And now RunAway counterattack with the Flux. Everyone goes up, everyone comes down, and no one dead just yet.
Oh,
now
Mag.
and suddenly it explodes into action with Doha and the Death Blossom picking up 4 with the ult, and then 1 immediately after. That is momentum if I ever saw it.
5 kills coming through from Doha. See it one more time here. Just walks on in, full confidence. Nothing to be afraid of, but RunAway, all the fear in their eyes as they see the kill feeder members all dropping one by one. And once more, Mag dies at 95. Alpha gets a supercharger off, and Mag doesn't.
RunAway feeling like they're in the corridor fight from Old Boy with how that played out. Now Hisu finds Doha early, Sparkle as well. So RunAway stabilizing in this final hold here on point B. Element Mystic, for all that momentum, they didn't actually really gain much from it. They're going to get stopped again.
This is the first real fight win for RunAway so far on this defense. Certainly the one on B anyway. And Element Mystic now, first full reset here as well. They lose a tiny bit of momentum, but they still have 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It's decent. It's a lot of time to still make their way through B.
Still have plenty of ultimates too. Definitely want to be counting those green ticks. Close enough to a couple of others as well.
Looking for MCD, looking to see if he can get his coalescence up in times, because Gunlimon's got one. Legday goes nearly on that sound barrier, and Unique is just a little bit too far away.
Also looking for a strong flux out of Hanben. Waiting for the opportunity. Gets forced back for now. They're just waiting for the end road. That's going to be a sound barrier. The flux is well committed. Sparkle doesn't fancy it just yet.
You can imagine the situation should come up for Element Mystic now. That 6v5 Yagi, where he's going to drop in.
5v5 as it's starting to get lean in the ultimate department until QOQ has this gravitic flux available. Might not even need it though. Yaki's starting to pop off now. Finishes off Doha as well. The payload hotly contested, but RunAway will keep it under lock and key.
And unfortunately, Hanben just couldn't quite get enough done there with the flux. Maybe a little bit more patience was needed, because you did see there, Sparkle forced out the sound barrier from Legday Gone when he used Meteor Strike. After that's gone, you're going to get the biggest flux possible, because now there's no sound barrier to counter things out. But Element Mystic just couldn't quite get the combo functioning. However, they will now at least have their own sound barrier to defend against QOQ.
Gonna need it, to be sure. Element Mystic haven't quite found much success since that first bout on A. Well, technically the second one, but really it's just that momentum that's taken them this far. QOQ.
So low, but doesn't go down here. Now uses the flux. Can he get it off? He does.
It's already trying to turn things around. They didn't have the supercharger as it was, and RunAway trying to dig deep. And Element Mystic, they can dig deeper, and this time they do finally find that fight success. And that wasn't even using ultimates to counter other ones. It was just good frags.
They're able to walk through so successfully here as well. Alpha used the supercharger to confirm the damage. RunAway didn't quite get the trades there, so they lose that point. Back on the scene now, 242. It's a defendable point for RunAway based on the amount of time remaining, as long as the snowball is stopped somewhere here.
That's still a tall order though, because Element Mystic are looking back online. They're looking like what we were seeing out of them earlier in the series. Sparkle looking to maybe come down on top of someone, doesn't quite find his mark now. Just fishing for a Doha in with a Death Blossom. No one down. Hisu just to the back end of it, actually. Numbers advantage. Cut has moved up until now. Legday Gone. Took so long. Finally comes in, but it's laid with the Coalescence. Element Mystic still kind of low here.
Coalescence coming up from MCD now. Combo with that
Big
flux. Is a big
That's
number
the
to
one.
get down.
And that's going to be them starting to push it on through to the final stretch.
This'll be it.
Sparkle catches Mag, and it's all going to be staggers onto the point for RunAway.
And they needed to stop the snowball momentum. It is still rolling down that hill. QOQ already on half health, and he hasn't even touched the point.
Doha's found Yaki. It's all just going to be about picking up one by one all of these members of RunAway. In fact, some won't even make it back out onto the payload. The cap does get completed.
And that final kill from Sparkle to Legday Gone, so instrumental as well. He saw what happened to Gen G when they tried the same thing, and one Lucio prevented a cap from coming through. He saw that and decided to smack him against the wall. Not today. This cap's going through. We're going to time back.
Yeah, no, not letting any of that stuff play on. Not on my watch. They've learned, right? Everyone's learned from what Legday Gone pulled off just yesterday. An absolutely absurd play. It was on Volskaya Industries, and Hey, we've yet to have anything quite as nuts here from RunAway, which is almost unexpected.
I'll remind you, Yaki had that huge string of frags on Ruins. That's the closest we've had so far.
All right, I'll
but
give you
it
that.
has been few and far in between. When it has happened for RunAway, we can expect them to get that map win. Yaki here on your screens, he's the one to look out for, but this is not the map where the Pharah comes out just yet. Possibly on an A attack, but you wouldn't really expect it most of the time. He's already now hovering over the Doomfist, and for Element Mystic, it's been about consistency. They have consistently won in this tournament, despite dropping maps. Yeah, sure, they've dropped maps here, but can they still win? Because they've won all their other matches up until now.
That's the thing in many respects right now for Element Mystic. This is no different to what they had versus Talon, what they had versus Atlanta Academy. Even XL2 got a map off them, but they, like you said, won those. And you start to look at it through that lens, the lens of it almost doesn't matter how much RunAway gets. Element Mystic, Rocky or not, have been securing wins.
And we talked about the fact that you never count RunAway out. Yeah, this could be match point, and it has been for a while. You don't count them out. At the same time, though, I don't feel like you can count Element Mystic out. I feel like if this goes to map 7, EM could still take it too.
Like they say, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and, well, nobody's singing just yet. Everyone's lips are tightly sealed.
Whoever wins will be having all the songs sung in their praises here as Element Mystic. First defense now, it's Sparkle looking for that first angle. Eyes on Yaki as well on the other side.
Call the bards, get them riding. That's going to be the first punch laid out from Yaki. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. A little bit low QOQ. Doha's the one who goes down though, and despite the low members of RunAway, they get the Coalescence up first. They top everyone off, and they start pushing in. Now it's MCD's turn, but it's not. It's time to save Hanbin. Will not be committing that Coalescence here, I dare say. Not with the numbers advantage RunAway have, and now all the point control as well.
Sometimes it does feel like RunAway are the miracle makers here, but can they continue? Here comes Sparkle. He's the one you got to watch out for on the ground.
They got Yaki.
That's down first.
That's so critical to finish him off after both Doomfists bumped into each other and get knocked over. Usually it's the aggressing Doomfist that dies because they're surrounded by the enemy, but instead it's Element Mystic who can collapse on Yaki.
Now let's see who pulls out more wishes here. Is it going to be Element Mystic? Because we did see in the opening fight, QOQ going down so low, but does not end up dying. Gets himself a kill. Sparkle now comes in the second fight, completely slam dunks RunAway, and they are still defending. Not even one tick given away.
This is incredible now, and I mean, this is the kind of turnaround we thought we might see out of RunAway. It was Element Mystic instead after such a horrific start to the fight.
Alpha nearly reaching that supercharger could be absolutely pivotal in this next fight as Hisu reaches for that Death Blossom.
Oh, Alpha! Are you kidding me? Yaki just finds Sparkle as well. This was with Element Mystic already backing up to give some space, maybe set up the Gravitic Flux, which Hanbin did end up using to no effect. Now RunAway just kind of get to walk forward for free.
Two huge members taking down there. We talk so much about the fact that Element Mystic in their original attack just barely got the advantage in terms of timing over RunAway for those specific ultimates. This time around, it's the other way around because Alpha dies at what, 98, 99% towards the supercharger. Mag's like, okay, time to put my one down. Everyone on RunAway outputting that damage. They easily get that cap eventually. It did take a while though.
Element Mystic looking to just stop this momentum before it starts for Yaki. So quick on that. Now looking for one with the Meteor Strike, and Element Mystic have already invested into this fight with the sound barrier. Alpha down, Doha as well.
Oh, wow.
Element Mystic just barely stopping RunAway at all.
Hisu showing Doha who's king here as RunAway now are just going to run through this archway. EM could not stop this push, and Yaki now finding his mark. I mean, he's really just getting a lot more done than Sparkle so far, at least in this part of the map, of this part of the game. EM still need to find the reset position. Where do they stop RunAway, at least for now?
And we talked about great Doomfists in this tournament, how there were just so many, but among them Sparkle was still a name that stood out. But you're right, Yaki has shown up big time.
Let's see if MCD can stay alive this time. Coalescence is going to be super available as he uses it straight away.
Element Mystic so often looking to make that play, but Hisu on the reverse side takes out the supercharger. So they can't just dogpile on to RunAway. Death Blossom from Hisu. Doesn't quite get it done. Sparkle finds him with the Meteor Strike, and now a numbers advantage. DJ Gon's going to have to get the heck out of dodge here. Is able to regroup with the team. Element Mystic! That's a big one! It's only the one kill, but they should be able to get this supercharger as well, surely. And and with that Runaway, again at the start, backing out quickly.
And finally, Element Mystic and Sparkle find their mark here. Yaki probably won't last too much longer. Extra 250 health. That'll just go into the ultimate bag of Alpha over here. And our Runaway just reeling away. 240 still remaining. Looking at that cap, but the corner is open to be held by Element Mystic, who hold nearly four ultimates once Unique gets the sound barrier.
It'll be 5 as well if Sparkle can get that Meteor Strike, and he probably will during the course of the fight. And for the first time, Element Mystic have got back on the horse in terms of the defense.
Now, in a pushing position where Sparkle is on a flank, does get spotted out a little bit early here. Doa as well. Just going to give him some love taps over to Yaki.
We're going to make the move in, rather, as Doha has Death Blossom available. Death from above, potentially.
Shields down, just a bit of a stalemate here. There's the dueling all essences.
Heard that one in stereo, but Gangnam Jin goes down. Good early start there. Sparkle going to try and slam down into the middle of the team, looking to play maximum disruption. Flux comes down. Sparkle is picked off, but Runaway are the ones on the retreat.
That's a little unfortunate because Unique doesn't save him, but speaking of saving, Runaway, they're still just trying to save this point. They want to come back in now. They have reinforcements, so do EM, but it is now going to be a soft reset on both ends.
That's the thing. They were very quick to try and find the opportunity to re-engage, but at the end of the day, then Element Mystic just pulled back. And then nothing's really changed. A minute's been lost.
That's the thing. That's the biggest loss here, because despite members not really going down, it's Runaway that are having to lose the time, and that will cost them.
Doha looking for something with this Death Blossom. Might not need to, though, between Hanbin and Sparkle. Just going to keep these members trained under his guns is Doha. And preserving ultimates in so many of these fights. Element Mystic are putting on a clinic in this defense.
And they need to, because they want to take this map. This could be the last one. This could be the last chance. If Runaway do not cap, if they are unsuccessful, it will be a 4-2 victory in favor of EM. And Runaway will be knocked down to losers.
They would be reversing the scoreline from the Contenders Korea Season 2 finals as well. And Element Mystic are looking good coming into this potential final fight.
This is EM now, everything in their hands, the game in their hands, grand finals in their sights as well.
Supercharger already from Alpha. Legday gone!
That's what you need.
So quick! They just press all the buttons and Runaway fall. There is just barely enough time, maybe, for Runaway to come back in, but 20 seconds, Avril. I just don't believe it could happen.
They got the ultimates, they got something to work with. We know Legday Gone can make some magic happen. He's the magician of this team. They got to get there. There's only one option, 10 seconds remaining. How do EM respond? Because they are the ones that do not have ults.
We're going to see the shock turnaround from Runaway. It's going to be here. 5 seconds remaining as they come on towards the point. Ultimates are there, as we said. They're on the cart now. What's Element Mystic's play?
Element Mystic now. Sparkle does nearly have a Meteor Strike. Doa got very low. Legday Gone still holding on to sound barrier.
Sparkle tried to find something coming through the backside, but unfortunately didn't connect the punch. Now all ultimates down on the table for Runaway, as they're going to be the ones picking up the kills. Sparkle slam dunked as soon as he hits the ground, and Runaway back in possession of the cart in favor in this fight. The overtime is there. It is a factor, but Runaway, they are going to keep this alive.
Runaway have reached the final table. They don't have a lot of chips left, so they go all in. Luckily, they have the pocket aces here, and Element Mystic draw nothing. They are going to be losing that cap, but it's not over just yet. 120 still remains for Runaway. They still have to make their way towards the end of the map.
That's the thing, they kept it alive, but that does not mean it is thriving. Element Mystic still have another golden opportunity on this defense.
Looking at Hisu here, does have the angle available. MCD looking super tasty on the edge, and he also does have the Coalescence.
Rabbinic Flux available for QOQ. It's going to be early Coalescence from MCD. Hisu has to pull back, reposition.
QOQ.
Sound barrier is going to be here for this Flux. Nothing ventured, nothing gained so far by Runaway.
Sparkle low though, Sparkle stun, stays alive, at least for now. EM giving away a bit of space.
They're having to pull back at rapid pace, and they're still losing health bars now, members too. That's another one dead. They might just be able to get out of these spawn gates though. The card is still only halfway through C. Element Mystic still have one last shot.
And the Magician just keeps on pulling out the handkerchiefs. How many has he got? Runaway. How do they make the miracles happen here? Can they get one more magic trick to cap the map?
It's all it's going to take. Legday Gone is sound barrier. Flux is out. Legday Gone will answer it with that ultimate. QOQ down and out for the count at the top of the bout. Sparkle looking to follow that one up with the 1-2 punch on the Meteor Strike. On top of Mag! no tanks left. That's gotta do it, surely. 3, 2, 1, you're flat on the mat. Element Mystic gonna knock RunAway down to the lower bracket.
And it turns out EM were the best team all along. Sparkle is here, the God of Doom sits atop his Crimson Throne, and he demands a blood sacrifice from RunAway.
Flipping that series on its head there compared to the last few times these two teams have met. And Element Mystic, they said it, they said they felt they could do better than what they did in Contenders playoffs. They felt they had a better read on the meta, that they were in fact just plainly the better team. They have proved it once, but AVRL, I cannot help but feel that this is not the last we are going to see of Element Mystic versus RunAway in this tournament.
Absolutely not. Everybody in the lower bracket has to be so scared of Element Mystic and also RunAway now, because whoever goes up against EM, I mean, they've done it every single time. Now EM got the revenge on to RunAway. Who else do they have to beat here to really prove themselves? People thought they looked weak in Group A. What are you talking about? They're in the grand finals now. They've won every single game to get here.
And we said it partway through, right? Group A was maybe just the better group of the two. And maybe all of those teams being close to one another meant that there was just a gulf between A and B. And I dare say that has ended up being true here. When you look at the teams that were left at the start of today, a couple of them we've already said goodbye to. But the one that we have yet to say goodbye to is Element Mystic. And they just beat RunAway.
Yep. Genji still alive in there, barely. You'll see them a little bit later on, but as we start dwindling in numbers, it's Element Mystic still sitting atop that throne, waiting for that next challenger. And that next challenger is to be one of 3 teams still in Vancouver. Rather, I say Vancouver, I really mean here RunAway. Seems like Vancouver, to be honest, but hey.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Vancouver Season 3. RunAway here are looking for that next chance to get towards Element Mystic.
I don't know, maybe if it's Element Mystic who close out in the grand finals, regardless as to who it's against, say maybe they get to be Vancouver next year. I don't know. At any rate, I mean, it's such a massive statement for Element Mystic there, you know, being the best Korean team at any given time is such a critical thing. But in this current environment, you know, we're in F5 season. We're all hitting the refresh button, and we also know how many OWL teams have presence here looking at these players, picking up a win.
By the way,
yeah,
we know Vancouver Titans are actually here.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
RunAway took a photo of the entire team. It's RunAway 1.0 versus, well, you're not versus, but with RunAway 2.0 here. The whole family's here. Runner's here. Flauvin obviously is here as well. And look, I mean, all the fans of RunAway watching this game, still waiting to see what else RunAway can do, and I think they can still do a lot more.
And that's the thing, right? A win is just so critical here for Element Mystic, but it's going to be whoever picks up the win in the grand finals that counts. Now, Element Mystic have punched their ticket there. We still have yet to see who they're going to meet there. Speaking of people we're going to meet.
Speaking of people we're going to meet, before we get there, final score 11-11 for the entire year. That means if they meet again, they're going to have to settle that one once and for all.
I'm really looking forward to what that might look like, but people we're going to meet is going to be Doha to find his thoughts about that absolutely breathtaking series. This is me breathing because my breath was taken away. I'm just... Let's catch up with Doha.